Avant-Garde 2025. It's time to level up your dentistry.
We're here again already. I can't believe it's been a year and we're back doing our yearly reflection and recap of Avant-Garde courses 2024 back in London. Just like to say thanks for this beautiful venue that we're in today. Thank you to Bagatelle London for allowing us to plot here and do our thing. Obviously, yesterday was a really successful day at the BACD. Our first time speaking from Avant-Garde. I know you've been there before, Jamil, in 2018 as a speaker, but first time for Avant-Garde at the BACD. Big event, prestigious event, and I think it went really well.
Yeah, it was really well received, wasn't it? Super happy with the BACD for inviting us. Chris Leach, shout out to him. Great guy.
Yep.
And all the feedback we got was positive.
Yep.
And just great to share our workflows, that are really changing dentistry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that whole awareness train is well and truly underway. People know a lot more about our concepts, the comprehension of our approach. Obviously, Same Day Smile was designed in a fashion 2-3 years ago so we can really attract patients towards the right level of conservative dentistry. But behind that, from the industry side of things, I think everyone's really starting to truly understand the level of detail that we go through from initial consultation, planning, the lab portal, and then obviously the accuracy of the execution of our workflows. And it's being very well accepted, firstly the BACD and obviously around the globe now, as we've managed to travel unintentionally around the planet a little bit this year. So obviously starting in April in Miami, who's in the States, that was received really well. We got our hands on the first and only Midas in Europe. We managed to provide Milad with some new veneers with that technology. Yes. And again, I think the awareness and the acceptance of Same Day Smile and Avant-Garde in the USA has been really, really good. Allowed us to have some really good connections there, great companies.
And that printer is a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I'm so happy that we got to do the first case in Europe, one of the first cases in the world with Milad's teeth, putting the money where our mouth is, as they say. Yeah, look how great it looks.
I think that's all I'm going to do today, is just keep showing the teeth down the barrel. That's my job today. But they feel great as well, to be fair. So I'm like a living guinea pig for these, and they're great. Everyone keeps coming and trying to look at them and have a little watch. But no, they feel great, working well. Very happy and very privileged to be one of the first to have these in my gob.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that's going to take us as well. It doesn't change anything about the concepts of the workflows, but it's an additional dimension when we think about the whole concept of what we're trying to achieve with Same Day Smile, with accessibility to smile makeovers for the masses. So dentists can access, predictable solutions, but patients get accessibility to something which is potentially more in their price bracket compared to, the higher end porcelain. And it's our job to deliver fantastic, long-lasting restorations, but give the patients choice. And this is a new choice, with the 3D printing technology, which we've been working on for a couple of years. But as you say, this is a game changer now, isn't it? Where it's at.
And the demand for patients is increasing for it. I mean, from the campaigns that we've done with the 3D veneers, I've had people coming up in Glasgow asking me for 3D veneers. Yeah. Right. So the awareness is out there from patients, and this is what we want. Patients are asking for these type of solutions.
Yeah. So 3D veneers. Let's talk about that, because that was, again, another brilliance, I think, from Same Day Smile, understanding what the technology brings, putting a consumer-friendly twist on that with a nice education piece and putting it out to the public. And again, it's creating demand. And with that demand, hopefully allows us to supply these patients with opportunities to visit dentists up and down the country who we've trained. And that's got to be the way this community works, collectively, collaboratively. Our job is to train as many dentists with modernized workflows and give them the opportunity to grow their businesses through our solutions and connect the dots with the patients. And it's going really well. It's going really, really well.
I had somebody coming up to me asking me yesterday that do they need to have a printer? And no, absolutely they don't. I mean, the lab, Dental Excellence Lab, can handle all of that. We can 3D print the veneers. We can ship them out to them if they don't want to do all the finishing themselves.
Yep.
But it's going to be a game changer when every dentist has one of these Midas on their desktops. Yeah.
So I'm really inspired by the post there that says art is hard, because the old way of cosmetic dentistry was it's very, very artistic-y. And therefore, when you do an artistic pursuit, you get like this writer's block. So a lot of dentists were saying, we're trying to embrace cosmetics, but we're getting like our own blockage. And what people are saying is, with this new workflow you guys are doing, it's no longer so artistic-y. So because it's now accessible to everyone, it's just a game changer.
Yeah, it's simplified yet complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember, we said it might have been Einstein, is something to do with simplicity. I can't remember what it was, but simplicity is...
I think it was anyone can take something, make it more complicated, but it takes a genius to take something complicated, make it really simple.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And when you look at your portal and how you've just laid out the different options of how to choose a smile, it just takes all the artistry out, because I'm looking for this type of incisor embrasures, X, Y, and Z, and that's just game changing.
So while we're on the portal, might as well talk about the portal now. And the growth of the portal has been fantastic, and it's the portal which gives us these opportunities to move on a global scale and give dentists the opportunity anywhere in the globe to learn our workflows, access the portal, treatment plan collaboratively with us and our team in a lab, and then choose a manufacturing partner of their choice, whether it's a chairside 3D printer or their own lab locally in Australia, USA, Malaysia, Middle East, South Africa, all these places that we're having these conversations now, and we're trying to find education and lab partners in these areas. It really is great to see the hard work of the portal come into fruition of being so accessible for everyone now, and I think that's going to be a big movement for us next year. Again, unintentionally, we were only just coming home this time last year, and we were back off the road, but it seems like now we're on the road again more than ever.
Yeah, but that portal that you mentioned, I agree with you wholeheartedly that it's a thing that gets a lot of the dentists at our courses excited.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise it's very, the traditional ways of communicating with labs, paper slips, maybe just a little email from the trios or from Itero communicate. But having this resource there where all the photos, all the scans, all the detailed workups, all the conversations about occlusion, all the conversations about what's the best way to treat this case are being done.
Yep.
These are things that dentists don't see, that don't know about us, and
Yep.
patients don't understand the hard work that goes behind it. So shout out to the lab who do a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a teamwork approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the genius is that, I don't know if Miller had ever used Napster, but back in the day it was really hard to sort of rip music because there was no system.
I have never illegally downloaded music in my life. I don't know what you're suggesting, bruv. This is Napster. I don't know what you're talking about.
That pirate, about whatever that stuff was, right?
I don't know what it is.
But back in the day, it was really hard to sort of download music. And then Steve Jobs come up, and all he did was give the most amazing, simple platform that made it really, that simplified the whole thing. And that brought about a whole change in the industry. And that's what people are saying your platform's about. Because your portal is actually allowing a dentist who might not feel 100% confident to say, this is now really easy. And I think that democratization of that wisdom and distilling it is something that's really set it apart.
Yeah.
And the thing about the portal is obviously we only allow our educated dentists to utilize the portal, which is a bit of a barrier. Like we've seen yesterday, the BACD, like with all respect, people, it was jaw dropping when people seen the depth of what we go through on the back end of that portal. So if we can find ways to bring more access to that, unfortunately, because the protocol of the workflow is strict and it has to be strict, we have to educate the dentist first before letting them loose on the portal. But then when they're there, I think there's no comparison, especially in the UK anyway. And it's built to allow volume of treatment planning, as you say, thanks to the lab, amazing team of CAD designers, and a constantly growing team. And I think that's our next step, really, to really allow more and more people benefit from what we've built in the workflows and the portal.
And I think why it works so well is it's built by dentists and technicians for dentists and technicians.
Yeah.
Right? It's not somebody else that's done it.
Yeah.
Right? So we understand what works in our hands, And that's why the workflows have to be quite strict, and we have to follow them so that we get consistently amazing results again and again.
Absolutely.
And it's ever evolving, right? So as we do more stuff, we put more into the portal. As we get feedback, we add bits. So that's the thing as well. Always improving it, and it's just getting better and better and kind of more user friendly every day. And it's already so slick, and I think it's endless what we can do with it globally. Yeah. And that's what's so exciting, because we're making it accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
The way it's set out is like, if you follow all the steps, your results should be predictable time after time.
But this is something you said yesterday. So in the social after at the BACD, I think someone came and asked you like, what can go wrong, or how difficult really is it? And I think your response to him was perfect. It was like, dude, just follow the workflow. Yeah. Just do what we tell you to do. And you'll be fine. And that's literally it. So that is why the education piece is so important. Like, if we just open up to everyone, so just upload here, then I think it'll be a bit carnage, because people, dentists for a long time, right, we have that ability to want to do our own thing and kind of freestyle and wing it a little bit. But no, just listen, follow the recipe, man. Here it is, trust the process, come in here, do this, and you'll come out here. Yeah, and do that every time.
There are moments for freestyling and winging it. So we're not saying not doing that.
Yeah.
Right? So they can still put their customization and understanding about how they like to do things, but the set workflows.
It's the planning,
it's
isn't
the planning.
It
needs to be done in a consistent way.
You're highlighting all of the stages, all of the nuances of every individual case, because every case is individual, but you're highlighting them at the start, and then you're reverse engineering where we're going to, and how we're going to get there. And Carlos said it quite well yesterday. It's almost like a GPS system for smile makeovers, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah. So it's been a great year. I think obviously we launched this year with our new course, the residency, and I think that's been our biggest success with regards to the structure of our course and what our delegates take away. What's your take on the residency? We've got our last one of the year in 2 weeks. Obviously it's going to carry on next year. That's got to be the first announcement. I think what you take away from those 3 days is a lot.
Everything.
A lot.
I think it's intense for 3 days, but the amount of content, the amount of value, the amount of education, the amount of exposure to everything that we put into those 3 days is incredible. And it's exhausting. Do you know what I mean? We give a lot on those 3 days, but also for the delegates, right? Because we want them to be ready to rumble, and we're explaining the process, explaining the workflows, and enough for them to literally be able to do their case. I'm always skeptical of courses that say, you can do this tomorrow. But genuinely, I think the way we've structured it, they can do it. And I think a key element of that is the last day, the live patient day. Because when you get all the theory, you get to practice the hands-on, but then when you actually see it live, start to finish,
it's the magic, isn't
you
it?
Believe it then, right? Because we can tell you, look, it takes 45 minutes to prep 10 teeth. You're like, all right, bruv. Sure. But then you literally do it the following day. And we're like, look, it takes half an hour to cement these. All right, bruv. And then you literally do it the following day. Do you see what I mean? So I think that live day, and that's why we've had to keep it in dental excellence, right? Because trying to move that around, we smashed it for 2 years, going to football stadiums and really raising the awareness and giving people good quality. Yeah. But it's always that last live part that's difficult. But now doing it in Liverpool, where you get to see it in-house, I think that's a killer.
And having the lab just across the road,
literally,
right?
So you can see that part of it.
Clinical work, you're seeing lab work. The thing that surprised me that I didn't really realize was how many units of restorations we'd be putting in every sort of Sunday when we do the live patients. I mean, it's crazy, right? So we really put the money where the mouth is.
Anything between 40 and 60 every case.
I was really lucky. I spoke to a couple of the delegates, and a couple of these like CPD junkies, where they're in every course. But what they really appreciated was it's been designed to be predictable and profitable. So what they're saying is I've done like 6 courses. But they say, but the way you've designed every little detail means it's quick, it's efficient, it works well, and it's reproducible. So what they're finding is that stress of the unknowns is not there. It's almost like a turnkey thing, which a lot of people are saying is just next level.
And but add to that, there's always, look, every mouth is different, every patient's unique. So there's always going to be times where you're going to need a little bit more, right? And that's where the support element comes in. And that's another thing that I'm super proud of what we've been able to do with our WhatsApp groups, with the engagement groups, with the lab support through the portal, through access to all of us. And that's, again, another key element, I think, of why people are trust in us and trust in the process, because we don't just teach you something and say see you later, right? We're there to support and actually, again, that's another thing, right? We put a lot of time into that support because we want this community to thrive, and we want the Avant-Garde family to smash it all over, and that comes at a price where we're all in it together, right? And that support element is so key, and we see it all the time, constant cases. And sometimes, again, our family's grown so well and so good, we don't even get a chance to respond because it's the previous delegates that answer it. Do you know what I mean? And they give him proper sound advice because the experience is coming through. They're doing more and more cases. They're understanding the workflow. So it's good, man. It's such a nice family that we've built, and we're building, and it's constantly increasing, that the support level is also incredible. So it's good, man. I'm really happy.
Support's been a big part of it, for sure. Gives people the confidence that they've got to back up the team behind them, the lab behind them, and the collaborations as well. The advanced, we've been working with Align now for over 2 years, collaborating with companies like Align and more recently Exocard, seeing the work they're doing behind the scenes, infiltrating all of their systems into our systems, connecting all the dots. It just makes things work seamlessly, and that's what's really exciting for me. That for the first said this yesterday, there's so many huge dental companies now working together in collaboration. The big thing that we're seeing right now is Align, Ivoclar and Sprint Ray collaborating together. It's something hopefully that we'll be taking into next year with the Midas tour, and representing what those companies bring for that workflow, which is, it's our workflow, isn't it? So it's been like an absolute touch for us to see those companies combine with their IP, and that perfectly meets our workflows. We're connecting the dots already, and that really gives a new element of support and collaborative support for our delegates.
And also, I think authenticity, right? Because that's not something that we've pushed or we've had to make it like be some, because we're working with these people. It's been forced, bruv. It's happened because it's everything synergistic, right? Because we use these companies all day, every day, it's just all come together so nicely, right? So that authentic collaboration is what's so nice, because it's not always that way, right? And it's just happened, and we've been kind of in the middle of it and seeing it all come together. It's been so nice, man.
Yeah, and that's where I see improving next year, definitely. As we move into the residency next year, I think our workflow is going to improve as we take the systems to a new level, leveraging what these companies are building behind the scenes. And it's all workflow focused. It's all predictability of a workflow focused. Follow the steps, take the right images, take the scans, do these things like we've gone on about for a long time, and the output will be predictable and consistent, and give the right treatment plans to the patients in the right fashion. So that's the residency. That's definitely going to continue next year. What should we touch on next? The patient experience?
Yeah, that was a great course. I just recently did that as a delegate.
Yeah.
I brought a couple of my staff members with me, and it was mind-blowing. Like, I've been a practice owner now for over 20 years, 25 years.
I don't believe you.
It's true. It's true. But I just couldn't believe the amount of information that we got. Practical information. So not useless information, practical information, but how to make our clinics run smoother. And I told you that lecture that you give at the beginning of the course, explaining the needs and the rationale behind exceptional patient care, is absolutely mind-blowing. Probably your best lecture that you give, Rob.
It's the one I enjoy the most because the passion is there. I don't really, I don't hold back. but you feel the energy in the room, and it's nice to speak to the full team, to the dentists, the TCOs, the practice managers, and just plant those seeds and what you're a part of and why you're part of it. We're not trying to be ordinary here. We're trying to modernize and revolutionize a whole industry, and that takes a lot of work, and you've got to believe in it. Wholeheartedly on what we're doing, with the patient being the center of that focus. And the patient has always been the center of every decision we make across all of our systems, and that really sends the message home. What has been lovely to see is the licensed clinics taking the education from the patient journey, implementing it into their own practices, and because we have that connection with the licensed clinics, we're seeing that growth go to a whole new level, because the whole team is understanding the patient journey. Starting with, the intraoral scan and what we get from just scanning every patient.
Yeah, I've taken a lot from that as well, and my associates have as well. Scanning every patient was something that maybe we didn't do as much as we should have.
Yeah.
And Bav's input onto this has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right, the work that he's been doing, the way that he explains dental treatment, this is a piece of gold that we found.
It's the Royal London thing, bro.
Yeah, that's it. So super happy to have him with us.
I think if we take a step back, someone once said that knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. So most dentists who teach just give loads of like knowledge, but wisdom is knowing don't put it in a fruit salad.
Okay,
Yep.
I like that analogy.
So what the license practice is saying is that Robbie's just giving you wisdom. We've literally saved 10 years of education making mistakes because you're just dropping these like wisdom bombs everywhere. And for a lot of the license clinics, what they're saying is that perhaps we touch upon what might happen with the economy next year. But they're saying there's no one out there who's saying, how do we help you grow, considering at a political, economic level what's going to happen? And to have like this wealth of wisdom saying, these are the things that you can do to drive growth. This is how you set yourself apart in the market. That's what they're loving. Because any course can teach you how to prep and stick something. But when someone says that the intention of what we're trying to do is to help your practice grow, your team grow, to help you have what you want, I think that's where the licensed practice is saying this is different.
Yeah, it's so special. I think there's a huge gap in the market for that, the whole team to be sat down and understand individual roles, how they can contribute to the end goal that we've all got, which is the patient journey and the patient's outcome. I think it's super special.
Yeah, like, so one of the licensed practices, the principal's like, he's struggling with growth, right? But his team were like, we need to do this. So he's saying, for the first time, my team are driving everything, and I'm the one holding it back. Absolutely. So I'm scared. And that's just unique.
Yeah. When the team switch on that level, it's a different force altogether, isn't it? Understanding the purpose of what they're doing is really important. So that's been great, and that will continue as well next year, the Ultimate Patient Journey, with a focus on the licensed clinics, because what we're finding is when we educate the team with this way, understanding that the importance of the patient and the journey, that naturally comes a business growth conversation and a realization, really. And that's why we decided to also team up with CareStack next year and do a one-day business growth conference, which will hopefully be an extravaganza of a conference with some great speakers, worldwide speakers, focusing on the business of dentistry. And that's something that I'm looking forward to planning and mapping out and executing at a high level. And hopefully it's something that we can roll out year on year and continue to get industry leaders and people from outside other industries, to get different perceptions from other industries, how we can implement them into our own business growth for dental practices. Again, with that focus on that patient journey, that's a big one for me, big interest for me. I've always looked outside the dentistry for inspiration, and that's what we hope to bring into that business growth day. So we're looking forward to that one as well. That's a new one for 2025.
I'll be DJing, come on. No, maybe. We'll see, the big party.
So on the topic of business growth then, we've got Bav, an important part of our faculty now, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of them in 2025, with the Avant-Garde Accelerator Program, which is designed for our licensed clinics. That's dentists, teams, clinicians, principals that have been on our courses and then want all of those extra solutions to plug into their dental practices, joining the momentum train of same-day smile and the awareness and the demand that we're hopefully bringing for these workflows. And then we've got the Accelerator Program, which leverages the whole ecosystem that Align bring as a partner, from an iTero scan right the way through. Tell us a little bit more about that, please, mate.
Yeah, thank you. So if we take a step back, which is to say that right now, a lot of people embrace what they call holistic or performance or functional. So a lot of people are saying, I realize there's a part of my life where I'll be sick and a part where I'm healthy. I want to maximize my health period. And that, so, it looks like Milad's on some supplements or something. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Looks like he's using some kind of creams for his holistic stuff. But the point being is that patients know that there's what's called holistic stuff out there. And they're saying, how do I access it in dentistry? And that's where Align's being ahead of the game, because their iTero is the only scanner out there that has analytics and data. So what's happening is Align are now saying we need to integrate better our Invisalign and our scanner. So what you can now do is that when you use this iTero, if you use it every, let's say, 4 months, we now know that I thought this patient was stable or static, but the AI is saying there's something dynamic happening. Perhaps there's some thinning of palatal enamel. Perhaps there's some wear. Perhaps there's drifting. So that's now a game changer. Because what's now happening is dentists are seeing that I thought there was no money to be made or treatments to offer on my existing patients. But now that the machine is saying this is not static, there's a dynamically destructive disease process in your mouth.
It's a digital oral health screen, basically. Yeah, the digital examination, you know, so like you say, put the mirror aside and let the technology do the work.
So this is just like, you know, although Milad's a bit older than me, but like growing up, our old man would teach you how to fix your car. I wouldn't know how to teach my son anything, because now you just attach a laptop to it. And the laptops give you the diagnostics and everything. So that's exactly what the iTero is giving. But now when you then put the Invisalign and then your workflow, suddenly we no longer have to sort of consign teeth to full preps. So this is what's called true minimally invasive dentistry. Because the way we look at it is minimally invasive dentistry say I'm not going to prep a lot. But what if you let someone's teeth get so bad, you have to prep every tooth? So right now it's, let's prep less, but let's get it early. And that's where the synchronization of these technologies come at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. And the open-mindedness that we then bring to our patients and awareness we bring to our patients through co-diagnosis, education, visualization of all these problems like they've never seen before, it just switches light bulbs every single day.
Yeah, and part of the patient journey is to use words that people understand. Yeah. So if you say to someone that, you know, in protrusive and there's whatever, patients get lost. If you say to your teeth, bruv, your teeth are aging you, they're like, talk to me. Then suddenly they're engaged. Yeah. The minute you engage someone, then they're like, okay, I get it. When are we going to start? And that's what dentists are finding. Yeah. That the technology is allowing me to use words that the patient understands, they can visually see, and now they're like, this makes sense. Yeah. And it's just light bulbs going off, which is why it's so amazing.
Yeah, there's so much functional dentistry out there through aligning teeth. There's, you know, it's raising awareness to the clinicians through our education, and then to the patients that the benefits of those treatments and what they have long term, which saves us prepping 24 units in 10.
So that's exactly what the licensed practice is saying. What they're saying is, we thought our 10,000 patients were all stable because I can't see any new holes, the gums don't bleed. Yeah. The minute you're now scanning them, they're like, holy crap. Oh, can I swear? I don't know. Cut. They're like, shit.
You can't say that, bro. You were all right with crap, and then you just went worse.
I don't know all this stuff, my friend.
Crap is fine.
All right.
Ish.
We just crap everywhere then. So what they're saying was, we thought 90% of our patients are stable. The minute the technology goes in, 40 to 45% are actually dynamic. When you catch someone in that dynamic phase, it's why we become dentists. Because suddenly it's holistic, it feels good. And if we put all the workflow to one side, dentists saying, this is why I become a dentist. Yeah. I didn't become a dentist to neglect people's teeth. I now feel good in my heart because data's saying I need to do something. Yeah. And when the data says do it, it's easy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of dentists have been aware, and companies are aware about the power of iTero or the power of intraoral scanners. But the thing that I got from the course when you were presenting was, it's an accessible way, an understandable way of dealing with patients, utilizing technology, right? Yeah. And utilizing these important words that make patients, or make our patients easy to understand what we're trying to offer them. And it's not unethical dentistry. This is truly the way the GDC wants us to practice, right? To look after every patient give them a full mouth comprehensive treatment plan, and these are things that we don't do or we haven't been able to do without the benefits of technology and evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the amazing thing about the technology is that, going back to so I asked all the dentists, has anyone read the GDC standards book? No one put their hand up. So then we just put up a whole list of things. And what you realize is that the GDC want us to offer full mouth comprehensive options to everyone. Mm-hmm. They want us to communicate in a certain way. And the genius of what Robbie's done is he said that the industry has failed with the messaging. The people in charge of this have not been able to explain it in a way that a dentist understands. So now having a dentist like us guys in the middle of it, explaining it, means people saying we're falling in love again with dentistry, because we thought it was just a gimmick to sell something. But now we know that it's the bedrock of health. This is where your wellness starts. Yeah. So like one of the new concepts, Robbie, is that a balanced bite equals health. So if we can balance your bite through Invisalign, if we can get anterior guidance through your workflows, get some bonding, get some veneers in there, that is health. And if you can give people health at that stage, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is way more of that in just every day now, right? People are starting to pay way more attention to their mouth, to their oral health. All the links with systemic health is just there. I think it's common knowledge now how much the mouth affects everything else. They are getting it. 100%. And, just even simple things that people will live with every day of their life, headaches. People always complain about headaches. I get headaches all the time. I get migraines all the time. And you go, well, do you know that's most of the time your teeth, your habits? And for us to be able to treat that's life-changing for people. Yeah. So that's one element. Athletes, there's so much research going into how now the TMJ and the occlusion affects people's athletic performance. So just changing someone's bite. Breathing, just changing the way that people breathe increases cognitive development, behavior, everything. So the mouth, and we've been saying it for a long time, the mouth has to be treated as one of the most important organs of your body.
We've been speaking about that, haven't we? Integrative health solutions, which start with dentistry.
Yeah.
People don't go to the doctor every 6 months, but they go to the dentist every 6 months. If we can integrate, systemic health into our diagnosis, our planning, airway, there's so many avenues there for us to sort of holistically treat our patients, advise our patients preventatively. Then, that's also something that we'd be like to be bringing into our systemized approach.
Where I'm really lucky is I get a chance to see hundreds of dentists, and when you walk into another dentist's room, because you're not doing the treatment, you sit from outside, right? So the patient come in having Botox, but the minute we open the conversation of the Botox is because you're squeezing. So why don't we align your teeth, balance the bite? And then what they found was, because we were able to sort of broaden the buccal corridors with the Invisalign, suddenly the snoring stopped because of the space. And the minute you enter that game, as Milad was saying, right, there are just so many benefits that you get from this. And it's just educating people that it's not about having straight teeth anymore. The minute it clicks, it's the bedrock of health.
Yeah. And this is what I got from your presentations. Yeah, it's bringing health back into dentistry, and making things accessible for dentists to understand and to do. So I'm super happy that Bav's on our team.
Absolutely.
Really great.
It's a pleasure.
It's going to be an amazing.
I can't stop talking, so I'm so sorry, but this is my passion, right, bro? So my cousin, who's 12 years older than me, has Alzheimer's. And there are 4 risk factors that everybody knows for Alzheimer's. So one is chronic inflammatory disease, diabetic. The next is isolation, that means you work from home. The next is stress. The last one is gingival health. So having seen my cousin deteriorate, I thought I just should have straightened his teeth, given it a Sonicare or whatever. Because now I can go to bed thinking I've downgraded your risk.
Yeah, I've done my part.
Yeah. There's nothing else I can do. And I can sleep well thinking I did the right thing. And it's not even like some sort of fringe movement of people talking about it. Everyone's talking about these things. We now need to get serious about doing it.
Yeah, and a structure. And this is what we teach.
Absolutely.
The only thing with Bav joining the team is that you're going to have to shave your head now, bro, because there's, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be the only one with that immaculate headpiece, bro. I mean, come on.
That's never going to happen.
Join the team, bro. Like, what's going on?
or we go to Turkey.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's do it the other way around, yeah. Do it the other way around. So, yeah, where are we? We've covered the residency. We've covered the integration of Align technology, systems, business growth, patient's experience, the patient journey. I know we've touched on Midas and printing, but obviously we had the same day Smile Sprint course, which, again, I think one thing about 3D printing is the momentum it's building this last year, thanks to, you know, the driving force of what Sprint Ray are doing with biomaterials, with technology to print better, higher ceramic content, all these things. It's now just that was a fourth dimension that we spoke about a couple of years ago, and we ran it as a separate course, and there's still a lot to learn, and we are still going to run it as a separate course in 2025. But it's just a natural part of our ecosystem now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think eventually it'll become part of the residency, because then we communicate everything in a one. Dentistry will change. The future's 3D printing.
Yeah.
So people better get ahead of it soon.
Absolutely. When we talk about 3D printing, for me and my practice over the last 2 years, you know, we've gone from, you know, can it be a permanent restoration to absolutely. And the big one for me, and the simplicity is quadrant dentistry now. You know, it's proven, the science is there, a direct resin versus an indirect 70% ceramic filled material, inlays, onlays, same day crowns. We can deliver them in an hour. Quadrant dentistry is moving to a whole new level of quality, thanks to what that dimension of biomaterials and 3D printers bringing to our practice. That's been the big game changer for me. All of my dentists now can treat patients in that way. Patients love they're getting almost an upgraded material, upgraded restoration in the same time for round about the same cost. It's a no-brainer for everybody. And keeping on the whole sort of collaboration on what Align are doing, we've found that the Align design suite, again, everybody being on the same page, we scan, we design, utilize an ExoCard, straight to the Sprint Ray printer. It's seamless, you know, leveraging AI. It's, you know, we can do these restorations easily without any high level extra training other than just that one-day course that we're teaching dentists.
I think the genius of the system is a lot of dentists thought, I need to be like a software programmer because a lot of the early guys in digital made it look really complicated. Yeah. And it was very fragmented. So you need to have a lot of emotional, mental bandwidth to manage this. But where you just made it so turnkey and simple, it's like, oh, I can do this. And I think that's the big game changer, that this is now accessible to everyone.
Yeah. So a big part of our course is going to be obviously the introduction now of Midas, which we're going to do over 2 courses next year. And we're going to run the same day sprint course where we still have the live patient. We show the same day dentistry, we show the full arch, the veneers. But we're also going to have the Midas tour where we show this workflow, and obviously we allow dentists in the UK to access Midas as early as possible, supply the Midas, supply the training. And that's a huge opportunity for us to help push this message that there's a new dog in town, and that is Midas. I need my lads' muscles for that. What we're finding, the polishability now of these materials is getting easier, slicker, quicker. Yes. So, you know, okay, yeah, you can add your colour and your stain, your characterization, which is great. You can do a chair side, whatever you want to do. But the polishing so well. We're getting some natural translucency now. It's ticking all the boxes, and we can print and finish so thinner than any milling machine can finish. So, you know, from when we're talking about veneers, not just inlays, crowns, onlays, we can achieve a lot, and the material science is coming back that, you know, we can have thin material thickness with this material and still get positive long-term outcomes. So the days of prepping onlays and giving 2mm thickness of ceramic are gone. It's done. So back to optimally invasive dentistry, quadrant dentistry, veneers. This is this is fantastic. But again, now we need to retrain the dentist's mind of how to plan, how to prep, how to execute with and without these on a chair side or with and without utilizing the lab. One thing that I would like to get out there now, so you know it came from me first, yeah. And we're gonna find this. This opens a new opportunity in dentistry for career building, completely new job titles within the dental clinic. And that is the nurse technician for me. Almost the CDT of nurses. Someone who can scan a patient, use AI crown design, put it through the printer, take it out, polish it, pass it back to the dentist 30 minutes later and allow them to insert it. That is a huge opportunity for the nurse tech.
I think everybody at the residency in the last day with the patients are amazed with Peter, right? How he's the nurse tech.
Well, he's
right?
the nurse tech. Yeah,
because people don't understand that he's a dental assistant.
Yeah.
And they always think that he's a dentist.
Yeah.
So the nurse tech is super important to be able to prepare everything for the dentist.
Absolutely.
Dentist just comes in and fits the restorations.
And that's a big thing we want to push. We're obviously going to start with our licensed clinics, but we want to introduce high-level training for nurses. So they do the digital photography, they do the intraoral scans, they can turn on a printer, they can print. So all the dentist has to do is diagnose, plan, prep, see another patient, out to the other team member, the auxiliary comes in, there's your final restoration, insert. So, all these additional avenues now to bring efficiency to the dental practice, efficiency at scale is exciting and should turn on the minds of all these corporates. I think, corporate dentistry can change in a big, big way. If they take a step back, they look at efficiency at scale. It takes a lot of implemented change from education through to systemized approach at a high level. And I think, economical crisis or whatever we want to talk about, the levels of efficiency that we can bring to dentistry, cost effectiveness, but higher quality for our patients, I don't think we have a lot to worry about if we think a little bit outside the box.
I have a great story from one of the license practices. So speaking to the associate, I said, let's go back to first principles. Your job is to make as much money in as little time. So how do we cut chair time? How do we cut lab time? But at the same time, it's how do I provide the best dentistry at the lowest cost to the patient? The only people doing this in the UK right now are us guys. So what she did was she scanned the patient because I don't know what to do. I go, why is that lower six missing? The patient bit it and it's split. Okay, so what's on the other side now? So on the iTero, you now see these big amalgam fillings. And then when we use the occlusogram, there's red dots everywhere. You can see the crack. So now the machine's saying we need to do the quadrant dentistry, as you're saying. Yeah. But in her head, she's like panicking. Oh my God, it's like 1,600 quid. But then once we talk about your workflow, she's like, wow, it's amazing. I can now upgrade every quadrant in the next, year by year. Yeah. It's slick and efficient. It won't take me 2-3 hours. The fact that the lab cost is this, the time in the chair is this. Suddenly we found a new way to do dentistry that is great value for the patient, highly profitable for the dentist, but they love doing it.
Yeah, and motivational for the teams, the dental teams, to get involved in all this tech and assist the dentist to a whole new level.
I think that brings a whole new level of fulfillment to the other members of the dental team as well. They want to do more, and it's that nature of dentists to just
keep everything,
do this.
do everything
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
It needs to
We're
change.
trying to change that,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
One thing that one of the ladies so the receptionist of one of the license practices, what she was saying was, I love that we're going above and beyond what everyone else is doing, because we actually really, really care about patients. Because right now, especially in the UK with the NHS, there's a sense of, crisis management. This is us saying we want to get ahead of the curve and we want to do what's best for you. And that's what a lot of them are really liking, this philosophy of we're here to help you break down.
Yeah, everything that we do is all asking the question, why do we want to do this and how does it benefit the patient? It's always with the patient in mind. The psychology of the patient, what do they need and why are they flying to Turkey to have all this stuff done, and all these poor decisions because of our incompetence to be consistent in our message and updated information of what the possibilities are. Patients in the UK have not been updated of these possibilities. We may or may not know about it, but patients certainly don't. Enough, anyway, on a high enough level.
Being an Invisalign guy, I always found Smart Direct Club, similar to Turkey Teeth, interesting. And I once challenged a group of 200 Invisalign providers, and I just showed a web page of a guy in Harley Street offering Invisalign i7 for £1,000. Smart Direct Club, 10 minutes away, was 1,800. So both are comparable products. So Smart Direct Club said, we'll give you 7 aligners, but no IPO, no attachments. The Harley Street guy said, I'll give you 7, but I'll do the IPO. So let's just say they're similar. So I asked the dentist, why are people going to the more expensive guy? And if you think about Smile Direct Club, it's simple, it's easy, it's transactional.
Yeah. I say this a lot. Smile Direct Club, okay, thank God they're out of the picture now. Yes. However, in a very short space of time, they've got a huge market share, 14, 15 billion valuation in 5 or 6 years. That tells us that the demand is there. We don't need to worry about finding patients. The demand is there. If we tell them the right message, that which their consumer psychology. However, but then when we have their awareness through that message, we go hard on the education and we do it right. That's not a hard story to tell, and it's not hard to educate the patients when we have their attention. The problem is we're not doing anything to get their attention because we don't understand the psychology of their decision making. If we can get that right, that's a big movement. That's the whole reason why Same Day Smile looks and feels the way it does, because it's designed for the patients. The dentists will learn behind the scenes how comprehensive these systems are, but for the patients, they just need to see something which is accessible.
Smile Direct Club for my patient journey was very humbling, because what you realise was patients don't like a dentist. They don't want to see a dentist because we're too confusing. We overcomplicate things, and people don't like being judged.
And we're scary.
Well,
Speak for yourself,
you more than others.
Typically, people have always been nervous, right? So what they were able to do was bring dentistry into their house and make it non-threatening.
Which didn't work. Let's all remember it didn't work, but a part of it worked very, very well. The professional-led approach was non-existent, but the start of the journey definitely worked. So if we can bring the professionalism to the journey at the right time, that's the type of experience and journey that patients want. Patients are in a digital world, and they want to see and feel an understanding and a message which is purely customized and about them. Yeah, and then they listen. Again, you know, the luxury dentistry, fantastic. You know, we were one of the early adopters of this, but then what you see is that's not enough. You can't have a luxury clinic, and that means you're going to be a good clinician. Every single moving part, all the dots have got to be connected and understand what each little part means for that patient journey. And then when we grasp that, we can then become...
This is where scanning comes to its own, because going to what Mila said about patients being anxious and nervous and the scanning. So when I've audited over 300 dentists who are scanning, what we find is that they use words that scare people, they overcomplicate things, and they talk too much. So now the genius of the scanning is everything is just there. So there's nothing to say. And like, I might use the wrong word again, but like when I asked around 20 dentists, what was the biggest thing that changed your monthly revenue? And they said, shutting the hell up. The less I talk, the more money I make. And it's directly related. And so if you now scan, you don't have to talk. And it just sells itself.
Yeah, because dentists feel they have to justify themselves, have to justify treatment, because you can't really see it, you can't really explain it to the patient. But with the scan, it's there in black and white, right?
They ask for it before you even say it. Like, what is that on my tooth? That.
I often get the answer from patients, well, it's not giving me pain, so I don't want to do anything about it. But if you can see it in front of you, they often point out, like you said, before I've got to it, they're like, oh God, like, let's get rid of that. But previously, I think the answer was always, well, I'm just going to leave it because I don't necessarily believe you and what you're saying, because you've just rambled on to me 10 minutes about caries and I don't understand what you're saying.
So this is quite an important point, because Robbie used the word co-diagnose. So the new concept, Emily, is to collaborate. So rather than me sit here and tell you off, it's I come sit next to you, we both look at your scan and say, let's collaborate and figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the minute you collaborate with the patient, they're empowered, they're engaged. But the important thing is, Robbie, you now become the go-to digital guy. So this is where people are setting themselves apart in the market, because anyone can use a scan to make a crown. But when you're saying we're the holistic digital people, and you can articulate that in a way where the patient says, wow, this is going to save me money. Going to Milad is saving me money in the long term, then it's a forced economy to go elsewhere. And I think that's where the market needs to go.
Absolutely. So where does that leave us? We've got our little friend Midas. Looking forward to the Midas tour and the Same Day Smile Spring courses in 2025. I think that's going to be a big one this year. A lot of movement. There's a lot of interest in this bad boy here. And it's a pleasure to have one in our hands and to be, you know, delivering these types of restorations in people's mouths. One more time, Milad, give us a smile.
Come on. Do you know what? Do you know what I like about this? Basically, when I started 20 years ago, if you wanted to get into digital, it was just mad expensive, right? And then also the real estate you need in your clinic, right? Because the milling machines were big. The scanner thing was big. It was expensive. It was all of that. This, look at it, it's sitting here, desktop. Like, it's so small, and also the investment required, it's really not that much for what you're going to get back out. And the other element was, it was mad confusing, difficult to use. As Yaz said, this is so straightforward to use. And like you said, your nurse can become the tech that handles this. This can become like her baby, and she just deals with it and runs with it. And the running costs, getting the resins in, it's an affordable thing for your clinic to implement. And then once it's in, you're going to see how useful it is and how much stuff you can actually do with it.
Exactly.
So everything from SprintRay, to be fair, even the bigger printers, it's not a difficult thing to implement. Whereas before, I think for me, it was always a barrier because I had to learn all the stuff. I needed a lot of space in my clinic, which I might not have. And it was expensive. But these are all so affordable now, so easy to just put somewhere. It's so exciting, man. I look at it. It's so sick. I love it, man. I just want to take this one. What's that?
So where does that leave us? So we, the residency we've discussed, the sprint courses and guided surgery is the next one.
Yes.
And he can't be here today, unfortunately. I'd obviously like to introduce Kua Chani, who is partnering with Ujimil in the guided surgery course this year. And I just think, again, the growth we've made in that area with our workflows, has been phenomenal. We've now got a fully guided digital system from start to finish with the same 1, 2, 3 approach for full arch implant patients. Fully guided, same day photogrammetry pickup using, great, again, technology like iMetric, 2.3D, and now the new Shining intraoral scanner with the combined photogrammetry. Fantastic technology, passive fit, same day, 3D printed, great materials from SprintRay. Again, that has just brought, for me, it's brought a new accessibility for these type of treatments, full arch implant restorations for patients, quicker, more efficient, more affordable. And we're talking about all these efficiency and lower costs to the dentist. We've got to offset that to the patients now.
It's not just for full arches, right?
Of course,
it's a great introduction to guided implant dentistry. I mean, Kua Chani is an expert at this. He's trained in multiple different places, and he brings a wealth of experience to the team. And I think delegates coming to this particular course, if you haven't been exposed to implant dentistry, this is a great way to be exposed. Right. Many of our delegates feel then they go and do other courses and become a little bit more proficient at implant placement. But for those experienced ones that are coming to the course, this is just a game changer for them, because now they can utilize somebody that does digital implantology on a day-to-day basis. Right. So that's one thing with respect to the implants. And I love what you said about the new technology, the new materials from SprintRay, because it does bring the cost down, right? It does make things more affordable, and things definitely have to change in our profession in respect of that. But also the day 2 with the guided perio.
The crown lengthening.
With Coram, the crown lengthening. This was something that our delegates requested, right? I mean, there was a lot of confusion about, or misunderstanding about how simple it is really in appropriate cases to do gingivectomies, whether it's the laser, whether it's through the scalpel. Do we have to raise the flap or not? How long do we have to leave it before we can restore? And all these questions really get answered on that.
Clearly.
And the hands-on elements as well. Well done to Emily for sourcing those amazing models from Brazil. These are top models.
Yeah. And again, what it does is we look at our system, our approach to the system. We've got all these disciplines now that just fit in. So, I do it all the time in my clinic. We look at a case, a treatment plan, a case, and I've got Kurum for the perio, I've got Chani for the implant side, and I'm doing the restorative, or there's some Invisalign in there as well. And straight away, it's systemized, start to finish, reverse engineered, and everybody knows where they fit in. Everything becomes fully guided, and, it's efficiency at a whole new level.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know with the new ways of picking up the implant position now through photogrammetry, we know the accuracy to the micron, so we're putting these provisionals in same day, designed from the same day pickup, passivity is like not even a question anymore. You know, if anyone still doing analog workflows, then yeah, I know that's the nervous part. So it changes everything for us from, again, quality, standard, cost, materials, efficiency. It's a whole new sort of sphere of opportunity. And it's great to have people like Chani on the team to take all of these systems. And like you say, single implants, fully guided, well planned, print the same day provisional. Everything is
It just
there.
fits,
It's
doesn't
like-
it?
Everything
It
fits
makes
lovely.
and it makes sense. That's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
And it all comes through the portal.
The material science is just improved.
And
evolved
it's
so
just going to
much.
keep improving, right?
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it. It's just going to keep getting better and better, more ceramic, more polishability,
And
more
that's where
long term.
Iberclaw's position really becomes strong with their collaboration with Sprint Ray. They have decades of R&D of materials that they can print, but they needed the system to be able to do it. Now, everything is potentially answered. So working with Iberclaw as well is going to be a great opportunity to see how their materials evolve when we talk about printing their materials, as well as obviously all the great materials which we're already milling.
So looking at Avant-Garde 2025, we've got 20 events, 40 days, 2 continents. Oh gosh. So what are we looking at? What are our courses that we have for next year? So we have the residency. Jamil, what happens in the residency?
Fundamentals of digital smile design, our smile design and smile workflows, hands-on and live patients.
We have the ultimate patient experience course. Bav, what are people going to get out of that?
It's game changing because it's not about tips and tricks, but it's like saying what happens when you use data and research and give nuggets. That means straight away you 10x. Game changing.
We have our ever popular injection mold composite course. Emily, what are people going to get from that?
Still running. We're 6 years into the injection mold course. I think it's a super exciting one for therapists. Hope to be a trailblazer for therapists in the future, executing these kind of workflows in a predictable way. I think it's still so relevant. It's something that we've been doing for years, but it's still super relevant.
And we have our same day sprint course and the Midas tour. Robbie, what's that all about?
Yeah, well, you know, this is just about connecting the dots this year, understanding how intraoral scanning, 3D printing, smile design, CAD has all been merged together for a fantastic same-day chairside workflow. Carrying on with same-day smile sprint, introducing the workflow and live patients, obviously, on the day. Get to see it real time. And the Midas tour, a bit of a exclusive VIP experience for those who are seriously interested about buying a Midas, learning how to turn it on, to use it, and hopefully take it away on the day. So watch out for what we're bringing for the Midas tour. It's going to be exceptional, and we're going to make sure that that collaborative approach from not just Sprint Ray, but Iberclaw and the line is fully integrated into that experience. That's a big one.
And we have our guided surgery course. Jamil, what will they get out of that?
So day one, all about implant dentistry and guided implant surgery. We've got Dentsply Sirona and MIS supporting that. And on day two, all about crown lengthening, guided crown lengthening, with the excellent Khurram Hussain, with the amazing models provided from Brazil by Emily. Also on day two, we have the full arch stackable workflow that Khurram has developed with Robbie and the team. This is a great way to simplify full arch implant dentistry with modern materials and a lower price point for our patients.
And finally, 2 continents. Avant-Garde Australia. Oh gosh. Globe trotting. So what we're doing in Australia? When are we coming and what's cracking?
So Australia's all set and ready to go. You know, we've set the scene. We've got a great interest in Australia. The residency will be running in Australia. The same day Smile Sprint course will be running in Australia in March. And then potentially we'll be there again in August and October, November. With the guided surgery course, more residencies. We've got a great team set up there. We've got a nice education centre for live patients, great partners, and I'm really looking forward to educating dentists in Australia so then they can leverage the lab portal like we do here in the UK and Europe, and also partner up with some good manufacturing sites and labs over there to deliver quality same-day smiles.
And big up Mario and all the team at APAC Digital Dentistry in Brisbane. We're coming. Our official partners in Australia. I can't wait to get down under.
See you in March 25, Australia.
March 25, Brisbane. Ooh, surfing. And as always, big love to our sponsors that we work so closely with. Who we're working with in 2025?
Yeah, well, we always work with the brands and the companies that we are true advocates for, that integrate into our daily dentistry. So again, 2025, continuing a fantastic relationship that we're building with Align, from iTero into ExoCard, you know, end-to-end solutions, especially when we're talking about the ortho restorative workflow. More training on Smile Architect, integrating Smile Architect into daily dentistry, into that consultation appointment, iTero Design Suite for same-day design and chairside workflows. It's all happening next year when we talk about our collaboration with Align for sure. Ivorclaw as our material specialist. As everybody knows, all of our products are Ivorclaw products, and of course, Sprint Ray to keep moving the gauge forward when we're talking about chairside solutions and 3D printing. We've also got other partners coming in 2025. One big supporter, which is definitely a two-way relationship, is CareStack, who've moved to the UK market this year with absolute incredible force and momentum, bringing a revolutionary practice management system and CRM system, and just enhances that patient journey to a whole new level. So CareStack will be definitely a bigger part in all of our courses next year, especially the Business of Dentistry event. And I think that's it for now. I'm not too sure if there's any others just yet.
And a big one for 2025, the Business of Dentistry Conference. Robbie, tell us all about that.
Yeah, a huge topic, revolutionary ideas for dental practice owners, dental practices, to really embrace and understand how to take the patient journey to a whole new level, how to grow their business and improve everything about their daily work. Bringing keynote speakers, global keynote speakers worldwide from inside and outside the industry to get a real sort of understanding of what a modern day dental practice should operate like to be high level business performance.
And I'm sure there'll be an unforgettable party.
And to all of our previous delegates who are already in the system, operating our workflows on a high level or a low level, we've got something for you too, guys. So hopefully 2025, we'll have a new course which we're going to run out of India, where you can get to do live patients yourself under the mentorship and guidance of myself and the team, hopefully coming away with 50 to 100 units inside 1 week, operating on all of our workflows of your choice, which will give you that exceptional little bit of confidence to take back to your dental practices and just level up your same-day smile.
Right, wrapping this up now, guys. So everyone give me one sentence, one statement to explain exactly what we're doing. Emily first.
Seeing is believing.
Bav.
So to quote my favorite 1980s show from the AVG team, I love it when the plan comes together.
80, man.
Yeah, bro.
Go on. Are you'll be 8.
I'm Hannibal, trust me. I got the look. No, face.
Face.
I got the looks and the charm. So.
I pity the fool that don't use our workflows. Sucker.
Robbie.
2025, avant-garde, connecting the dots and paving the way.
Jamil.
Yeah, we've built it and now they're going to come.
Everything's golden when you have the Midas touch.
If I could drop this, I'd drop it.